Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be explaining kind of the deal breaker reason as to why I don't use Etsy's platform for print on demand. Now, as many of you guys probably know, I've been selling t-shirts online through print on demand for over 7 years now. So I feel like I know the space, I've tried all of the platforms, and there's one reason that no one really talks about that I don't use Etsy for print on demand. So without further ado, let's just get right into this video. So there's 3 reasons why I don't use Etsy. Now, the first 2 are really not big reasons and I could get over them. The third one's the deal breaker. But with that said, the first 2 you really need to be aware of as someone who's new to print on demand. So the first reason is that every listing that you upload to Etsy's platform comes with a 20-cent listing fee. Now, this really isn't a deal breaker. This isn't really a problem at all. It's just something to be aware of. The other print-on-demand platforms that I personally use, they have no listing fee. So you can upload as many designs as you want and you don't have to pay a listing fee. So that's the first thing to be aware of. It's really not a big problem. Now, moving on to the second reason, this one's slightly more of a problem, but ultimately it's not the deal breaker. What this one is if you're using Etsy for print on demand, you are going to be charged every time someone places an order, and then you'll receive the funds from the customer, which has the cost of the order plus the profit margin that you built in. This is just something that you really need to be aware of because it's going to charge your credit card on file every time someone places an order. And then afterwards, you are going to receive the full amount of that charge plus the profit. The other platforms that I use, they don't charge you anything. Simply, they just do it how I think they should do it, which is just giving you your split of the profit. They don't charge you anything, so everything's ultimately free. You don't even need to have a card on file because they're not going to charge you for anything. Now, with those 2 out of the way, those are kind of reasons that I could get over for using Etsy. But the third one here, this is the one that nobody talks about. This is the one that's a total deal breaker for me. When you use Etsy for print on demand, no matter how much you put in the description of order information or frequently asked questions or sizing charts or anything you put there, people are still going to have questions for you as a seller, and Etsy puts this button there where anyone can message the seller. This is the big problem because essentially, if you're a print-on-demand seller on Etsy, you are now also a full-time customer service rep. I know a lot of people don't realize this and a lot of people don't talk about it until they've sold a lot on Etsy, but the more sales that you get on Etsy, the more questions you're going to have to answer on your account. Now, if you just ignore these questions and you don't answer them, you could run into a lot of trouble. The first thing is your average response time is going to show as really bad on your account. The second is people are going to have bad reviews for you as a seller because you didn't answer their questions. And the third thing is some of them may be actual legitimate reasons or accidents that someone made when ordering that you need to manually take care of before that order is fulfilled. Now, some of these types of questions that you wouldn't think that people would have are last minute cancellations. Maybe they ordered the product and they wanted a different one or slightly different and they want to cancel that order. You have to do that before the order gets fulfilled. Or they entered the wrong shipping address and you have to change that or update it before that order gets fulfilled and shipped out. Also, it could be just general order questions. Hey, do you offer this slightly different? Can you customize the design with my name in it or something like that? And then all of the slew of customer service questions, which are basically exchanges, refunds, returns, all of those things you are now responsible for. Now, as I was talking about in one of the recent videos on this channel, with all of the big print-on-demand changes, there's kind of been a divide in print-on-demand in the last couple of years. Now, essentially what this split is that there's passive print-on-demand and there's active print-on-demand. Essentially, passive print-on-demand are a couple different websites, the ones that I personally use, that are totally passive. You upload the designs, every single thing is done for you. These websites even take care of the customer service, the exchanges, all of that for you. And then the active side of print on demand, this is the newer side. This is basically more hands-on. So you have to drive your own traffic, you have to answer customer service. It's more of a you are running that business, not so passive as the other side. Now, Etsy's platform for print on demand falls somewhere in the middle. Etsy is going to drive the traffic for you, so you'll get sales basically passively. However, you are going to have to do the customer service and all of the messaging, really the more active side. This is a true deal breaker for me on their platform because when I build my print-on-demand businesses, I want them to be 100% passive. A lot of people aren't thinking past 50 sales per month or something to that effect, but start thinking about 1,000 sales per month or numbers in that scale. If your print-on-demand business starts to grow and you get into 1,000 sales per month, that may easily translate into 300 questions per month that you have to answer. Now, since Etsy still has that passive nature to it, it's going to be driving sales 24/7, but the double-edged sword to that is that you're going to be receiving questions 24/7. And you now have to have your phone on you all the time, responding to them as quickly as possible to make sure that your reviews stay high and you get customers taken care of if it's something that's time sensitive. I really recommend using one of the websites that's fully passive. That way, if you go on a cruise or you go on vacation and you don't want to be on your phone, you can rest assured knowing that you don't have to lift a finger because you're not responsible for any of these things. It's fully taken care of for you. If you're using the Etsy platform, then you'll have to either answer those questions yourself, you're always going to be checking your phone, or you're going to have to hire someone to take care of those questions for you. Hiring someone to answer these customer service questions for you can be just as hard because you're training them, you're making sure that they're staying working for you, you're making sure that they're keeping their quality up. So coming up in next week's video, I'm really going to expand on this scaling issue for print on demand and show you with real examples what it's like when you grow a print on demand business that's fully automated and scaled versus one that you have to physically answer questions, and you kind of have this ceiling of how big you can grow before you start bringing on employees to help you answer more questions. Once that video is ready, I'll link it up on the side and down in the description. But in the meantime, for those of you who want to learn more about the passive print on demand and what those websites are and how to use them, I'll link a full tutorial for print on demand. I'll also link it up down in the description. For those of you who haven't seen it, that's going to be a full step-by-step guide, and hopefully that really helps you out to build a fully passive print on demand business. With all that being said, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you all in the next video.